Walrix is going to
Throw
come
your
play.
strategies in away. It's time to see Walrix, one of the best Warlocks in the world, backed up by that Warrior. Will Ascendant be able to do it on the composition that they are best known for?
I bet Radopi is going to make a swap to Looney, and he's going to take so much damage that he's going to disappear from the game. Like, he's actually going to have his character deleted from the game, because Dark Archangel is basically 15% extra damage for the entire team, but you lose a lot of healing, so it's an all-in talent Radopi is going with here. They might even just do it onto Walrix. There's the kidney shot on Looney. They're actually going to go after Walrix. Waiting for the Dark Archangel. Radopi's not pulling the trigger just yet. Maybe they're trying to bait some cooldowns before they commit it.
Yeah, Maro getting off the Ebon Bolt over on the Walrus to follow up Polymorph onto Looney.
There it is.
Walrus still getting low as he gates away, but he's down to 10% HP all by himself. Maro looking to close out the game with the Frozen Orb. Hellstone is going to top him off, so that's a big victory for Ascendant early on.
Yeah, definitely. If they can set that up again, maybe they just finish him. I mean, Blizzo now is down at half. Looney's trying to pick both players up. He's gone into Tree of Life form to get a lot of instant healing, but that was not even the Icy Veins. Maro still has a ton of damage, and Looney's actually playing Relentless, so if he gets swapped to for even a second out of bear form, he could disappear to an Icy Veins Ebon Bolt. Radopi's Dark Archangel comes up in 22 more seconds, so he's going to be waiting for that. Looney locking him down in the middle with a Vortex. So Looney preemptively Cenarion wards himself, expecting a swap, but he's going to get blinded as Walrix is the primary target, trading out Unending Resolve, but this still is not even the Icy Veins. This isn't even the Dark Archangel. Walrix is still so low on health. The damage from Ascendant, the crowd control is perfect. Walrix portals back behind the pillar. Acro in hot pursuit. He could solo Walrix, but he pre-timed the Infernal Stun on Acro opening on him. That was sick by Walrix.
Yeah, that was very nicely done. And gates over to Looney, who can easily top him off here with the hots, with the regrowth. Maro just resetting that Frozen Orb with the Blizzard. Every time it hits someone, it's going to make that Frozen Orb a little bit less. The cooldown, kitty shot over on a Looney, cheap shot onto Warlock. Did they have the follow-up CC? Doesn't look like it. Acro now taking a little bit of damage. No evasion available for him, no vanish available, but still has that Cloak of Shadows if he needs it. Radopi already down to around 50% mana. Dark Archangel going to be available for him, so at any point Ascendant can pull the trigger on those offensive cooldowns and try to burst someone down, but so far XRB's doing a decent job diffusing it.
Yeah, definitely. Walrix is likely going to be the target here, but Maro is finally starting to get pressured away by Blizzo, as well as Acro down at about half. Acro is looking to get some crowd control, goes for a kidney shot, but Maro is low. He's not able to get the counter pressure. Walrix preemptively portals before Acro could even land the stun. Walrix is now behind the pillar, out of line of sight of Maro. Let's see if Maro can get over there. They drop the smoke bomb. Are they going to have enough damage to finish the job? Frozen Orb available. Surprised to not see the Frozen Orb committed in this attempt. Walrix would have just died right there.
He could have just gated away, potentially. Maybe doesn't want to overcommit, but yeah, Walrus definitely a very scary situation for him. Blizzo now caught into the kidney shot as they put some damage over onto him. Looney easily keeps him alive with the Iron Bark, though. Wasn't the die by the sword, so Blizzo's going to be completely fine with, you know, really not too much committed by XRB. Maro's just going to be looking to control up Blizzo now as they rebuild damage and get ready for another assault. But XRB has been doing a good job slowing down the CC coming in from Maro, making it very difficult for him to get those Ring of Frost and those Polymorphs off.
Here's another attempt. Maro blinking in to land the Ring of Frost. This is a clean setup, but unfortunately diffused by Blizzo, and now Walrix can easily portal to safety. Maro drops the Frozen Orb, but Walrix can just get out of that. Looney's going to gate right back beside him. I would love to see a swap to Looney at some point here soon. They're going to go for a blind play. They could easily just kill him out of the blind if he's off stun DR. Blind into sap, and just kill him instantly with Dark Archangel, or with Icy Veins. Was that a War Banner attempt there? We see the kidney shot. They're going to set up the swap. Blizzo's trying to fear them away. Will this fear be enough to protect Looney? Yes, it will. And they saw that coming from a mile away. That was great teamwork from Blizzo to save Looney.
Yeah, very dangerous playing that Relentless talent, but when you have good teammates to back you up, it can definitely pay off. Maro channeling out some Frost Bolts. They need to get another setup. Radopi almost tapped on mana. This is the WLD's win condition. Just eventually the Discipline Priest while staying alive. The Affliction Warlock brings good, consistent damage. Blizzo just trying to play, you know, defender for his team. Maro getting interrupted there. Blizzo going to reconnecting over onto Acro. Radopi has the Dark Archangel coming up soon. He's going to be, you know, almost committing that Rapture as well. So that's not going to be available for his team. Maro still has the Icy Veins. I don't think he's actually used it once during this game, looking for the all-in setup on the Blizzo with a fear over on a Looney. Cheap shot on the Blizzo. He trinkets out, still has the dive of the sword, but XRB always making the greedy plays, really making Ascendant commit if they want to get those defensive cooldowns.
They got Looney's Tree of Life form again without using Icy Veins, but Radopi's ran out of steam. I mean, Dark Archangel makes it very difficult to heal as a Discipline Priest. You're going to tax all of your mana on very expensive spells quickly, so I feel like Morrow might have just been too patient. I feel like there were a couple opportunities this game where he could have just popped all those cooldowns, Icy Veins, and Frozen Orb at the same time and maybe killed Walrix, but now at this point they're really out of steam and the damage is going to start to sink in. Acro goes for a kidney shot. Ratify, this is smart. If he can get a drink, I don't know if he's going to be able to get enough mana off the back of this. He's sitting down. No one sees him. No one sees Ratify drinking right now. Morrow will gladly trade an Ice Block for mana at this point. It's way more valuable to extend the game.
Yeah, Morrow actually got interrupted on Frost and barely got that Ice Block off in execute range, so that was a very close call there. Morrow going to be rebuilding some of his damage again with the Frost Bolts, with the Blizzard. Ratify with the Dark Archangel. Kidney shot over onto Blizzo. Big burst, but he trinkets and gateways. This gateway is paying off so much for XRB, and they're always positioned right on top of it. Now Walrus getting swapped to. Looney commits the Iron Bark onto him. To keep him alive, he should be fine. And now Blizzo trying to get up the consistent pressure that he needs. They need to rework through Ratify's mana bar because of that really great drink.
I really still think a blind into a sap with Looney out of bear form and then switch to him, poly Blizzo at the same time so he can't peel, lock out Walrix on Fear, and they could just crowd control the whole team and kill Looney through Bark Skin with Icy Veins and Dark Archangel. I mean, that seems like the only way to win this at this with the current situation that's given. Acro is in stealth currently looking for a kidney shot, and Looney knows that, so he just immediately gates away. But they catch Blizzo. They drop the Icy Veins. No Dark Archangel, though. Will it be enough? They get the stun, but Blizzo was able to sneak in his Die by the Sword right between that stun lock. And he's waited this entire game to pull the trigger on Icy Veins, and it is maybe going to be worth it with a full blind. Blizzo drops out the intimidating shot to buy a couple more seconds. He spell reflects the penance, but Looney's caught into a full Ring of Frost. He disarms Acro. Spam fears from Walrix. They're desperately trying to stay alive. A Psychic Scream now onto Looney. Blizzo has commanding shout. They've got Iron Bark, and Blizzo will hang on right at the edge of his seat during that entire time.
Oh, that was such a scary moment, but Blizzo playing that beautifully with a nice spell reflect on that Ebb and Bolt. Well-timed Hellstone as well, making sure he held on to that to keep himself alive. Looney's able to easily top him off with the Iron Bark, with the Tranquility. Morrow and Acro's committed a lot there. That was Shadow Blades, that was Icy Veins, that was the Dark Archangel, I believe. So basically everything used by Ascendant. We're at 13% dampening. Another setup attempt here by Ascendant. Kidney shot over on a Looney. Polymorph on Walrix. Blizzo getting swapped to. He trinkets and gateways once again, and XRB does such a phenomenal job with this gateway. But Morrow and Ratify in hot pursuit. Cheap shot over on the Looney. Can they keep Blizzo alive? He's getting taken down here. Disarm over onto Acro. Ratify using the last little bit of his mana to take him down. No Iron Bark available, but Blizzo's just kiting. Looney gates away to get behind the pillar so he can finally hot up Blizzo completely. And that was Ascendant's all-in attempt. Now Ratify is completely out of mana.
Yeah, and we're in Dampening. And Morrow only has one more Ice Block, which they could trade for a drink, but Walrix has got his Fell Hunter moving towards there, so just going to get the Ice Block. Ratify can't heal through this anymore with 0 mana. He's pulled back behind the pillar. It could be a drink attempt on his part, but the Fell Hunter right next to him on the Rogue, I see that it's going to be very unlikely. He's forced to use Pain Suppression at high health because he can't heal the damage back later. He needs to prevent it. And I mean, Ascendant, they've got nothing left. If they don't get a kill within a matter of seconds, this game is going to snowball out of control. There's triple crowd control. Maybe they can get it in a matter of seconds. If they can get a Psychic Scream, they land a Psychic Scream. Blizzo reverses with an intimidating shot of his own, pummeling up Morrow, but there might be enough damage. No, Looney denies it with the Iron Bark. Blizzo survives. Morrow's got no blocks. If Blizzo can connect and execute, it will be the end of Morrow's life. Ratify has 0 mana. He's got Rapture, but he can't really press Power Word Shield with 0 mana. He's going to try and go for it. Pressing Mind Control, doing whatever he can to keep his team alive for at least one more stun lock on Blizzo. There's no Iron Bark, no Die by the Sword. There's nothing. This is it. It's all or nothing. Do they have enough damage to put Blizzo down? If they don't, they will ultimately lose here. They're doing. They've got it. Oh, leaps away on 10%. With
no way.
1%. He's barely hanging on by the edge of his seat. Wacko moves over and catches him finally. Ratify still dangerously low. Walrix is looking to try and kill him by himself. Obviously, you'd want to play this out. Ratify still has 0 mana. With Dark Archangel, maybe he can reverse some pressure. Ratify just hiding behind the pillar. I don't think Ascendant can believe that they've done it in this position.
Yeah, and XRB has to be pulling out their hair at this point in the game. Ascendant, I don't know how they did it, but Ratify was doing for so long, and he just continuously got these sets.
Yeah, they could just, as soon as the gates open, pop everything on Ratify, rush in, play with the Spirit Link talent, or they can do what Ben said, sit on Morrow, try to interrupt him as much as possible, and try to win by killing Morrow eventually. So we'll see what they end up doing here.
Yeah, I mean, Looney's playing the Relentless talent again, so that could be abused. He's got Earth Shield on himself, which is the correct move against Rogue Mage Priest. He is the most vulnerable target at the start of the game, and with Relentless, he's even more vulnerable. So Acro is trying to sneak across, but I don't think he's going to find a stab. They could just open on Looney. Radopi is not playing Dark Archangel. Acro is just going to cheap shot the whole team and switch over to the Death Knight. Zipai using his Icebound Fortitude instantly on the stun, which is a bit strange, but even still with that, he's taking quite a lot of damage. He trades up the anti-magic shield to try and deny further damage, but he's so low on health. Looney might have to use a Spirit Link Totem. They're trying to hold on to it. Zipai doesn't have any defensives. It's up to Looney to pick him up at this point.
Yep, stun over onto Radopi. Maro still being trained down a little bit. It looks like Akros wants to go land a stun over onto Looney, looking for a swap potentially, or just trying to set up his team for some crowd control. This is the Archangel coming in from Radopi, so once that fades, it's going to be a little bit more scary for Ascendant. Both Zipai and Blizzo all over Maro. There's the Touch of Death, Fist of Fury, big burst going out onto Maro, but a nice life grip, Death Grip. Maro being ping-ponged all over the map.
Yep, Touch of Death about to go off and does absolutely nothing with Radopi timing powered shields prior to its explosion. Acro just chasing down Looney, trying to bait him to use cooldowns. They actually baits him to use Astral Shift and Earthen Shield Totem. Now they can blink over and maybe squeak in a Polymorph at the final second. Zipai's trying to get in that Earthen Shield Totem and gain some sort of benefit from it, at least. It looks like he should be able to survive. That was not the Icy Veins committed by Maru. Looney now into the Psychic Scream. They could commit the Icy Veins Frozen Orb here, but Zipai has anti-magic shield. Maru's being patient. He loves to just hold onto that cooldown and make the opposing team kind of feel awkward. It's like, well, he hasn't used the Icy Veins. Should we use something in this position? And then when he does manage to bait it out earlier on, he can execute it later on. So it's an interesting decision by Maru, but the longer that he waits to do it, the more mana that Radopi has to use.
It is an interesting strat. You can see Acro actually just running at Looney. He's trying to get him in a bad spot, get him low, bait the Earth Shield while Maro tries to create some pressure over on Zipai and Blizzo. Very, very interesting strategy. Radopi going to be able to top him off with some heals here. There's a kidney shot over on the Looney. It looks like Maro's going for the Ring of Frost, but a nice interrupt coming in from Zipai. Now full blind over on the Looney. Is he going to have the follow-up Sap or Polymorph? There it is, the full Polymorph. Zipai is just going to be retreating behind the pillar as Akros trying to create some pressure with the cheap shots. That mind control over on a Looney as well. It gets him off the bridge. He has a separated Zipai from Looney at this point. Smoke Bomb going to be committed as well. Maro with a nice Ice Nova to keep him locked in there. But ultimately, Looney will be able to reconnect with the Ascendant and keep Zipai alive.
Acro is just switching off of Earth Shield, so he attacks Looney when he sees Earth Shield on the Death Knight, and then switches back to Zipai when Looney puts Earth Shield on himself. I think it's a smart move by the Salty Rogue. In the meantime, though, Maro is taking quite a lot of damage and forced into his first Ice block as XRB to the Moon are swinging back and ultimately winning now on cooldowns and mana. This is not looking too good for Ascendant. I think they're going to have to pull off a miracle swap, maybe onto Looney at some point during this game, but without Icy Veins or Shadow Blades, it will be difficult to overcome.
Yep, Looney now into the kidney shot. Maro looking for the Polymorph, lands it. Zipai into the cheap shot. AMS going to be up for him in 3 seconds. Needs to be able to get that off to avoid some of this damage. Big burst, but there's the AMS. Radopi now getting attacked by Blizzo and Zipai. Looks like they're changing their target over onto Radopi. Radopi's mana already down to 30%, so this strategy from XRB is kind of working. I mean, if they can just survive a little bit longer, like we said, they will ultimately win on mana. Acro's still trying to create some pressure over on the Looney, make it very difficult. He actually gets the Earth Shield up on the kidney shot. Blizzo comes back to defend him. Radopi goes for the fear, but Looney is able to avoid it. That's a big win for XRB.
Yeah, Looney, nice dodge there on Radopi's Psychic Scream. Radopi's mana, about 15–20%. That's not looking too good for Ascendant. They need to get something done here and now, but if we look at XRB to the Moon's defensives, they've got basically everything to survive. So where can Ascendant find a point to penetrate? They're going to try and go after Looney. They've got him locked down in a kidney shot, into a cheap shot. They have to kill him 100-0. Anti-Magic Zone will deny the kill, though. And now Icy Veins is coming up in another minute. It should be roughly the same cooldown, luckily, there. But Looney seems to be the only viable target for Ascendant. If they want to catch him, it's going to be difficult. Looney is expecting some damage, so he's got Earthen Shield Totem. Blizzard's going to portal back to force Acro to run away. And I'm not sure if Radopi is going to be able to find a drink. Certainly not with a Gargoyle tossing out some damage towards him. We see a blind attempt as they go after Zipai. He's got Icebound Fortitude. He can immediately negate the pressure here. Double stun from Blizzo as they are trying to set up some burst here on Maro. Radopi spent the last remainder of his mana on that attempt. They grip in Radopi for a swap. He's forced to trinket out. Now Looney once again could be a swap target. Acro's going to shadow step over. Looney jumps away, but he jumps into the middle of the map. This could be an opening to swap to him as Morrow is out right in his line of sight. Morrow is chasing, or Ratify is chasing Looney down as well. Looney's just trying to get away from Acro, this pesky rogue. There's a polymorph actually landed. They're going to go after Zeepai. That's the anti-magic shield, and he got it right before the stun. That was some nice timing by Zeepai.
Yeah, Zeepai avoiding a lot of that damage because of that. Ratify charging in. It looked like he wants to get a fear, but a nice incapacitate coming in from Blizzle going to be slowing that down. And Ascendant, I think, has run out of time. Ratify completely in the situation. Looney still has a Spirit Link. Zeepai, all he really has is the Trinket Mind Control coming in. Looney needs to be able to get that off. Morrow still being trained down, has a nice block left, but with Ratify having no mana, this is so dangerous.
Yep, Looney caught into a kidney shot. If they can get this, Zeepai doesn't have anything. They land the polymorph. Are they going to pull off another miracle in game number 2? Zeepai using all that runic power on Death Strike to heal himself back up, but Ratify follows it up with a double Psychic Scream. The Frozen Orb, Icy Veins combo. Ice Lance after Ice Lance. Will it be enough? Doesn't seem to be so. Looney has an Earthen Shield Totem down behind the pillar. He pre-positioned that for Zeepai to retreat into and completely negated that kill attempt.
Yeah, the Corpse Shield made Zeepai a little bit too tanky. Morrow looking for the Ebon Bolt, actually lands it on a Zeepai. He's still around 40% HP. Earth Shield gets refreshed. Now you can see Looney's down as well into the full kidney shot as they make a swap over onto him. No Earth Shield's going to be available. AMZ committed. Nice Fist of Fury stun from Blizzle as well to slow down some of the damage coming in from Ascendant. Ratify positioned very far away, gets gripped in with the Asphyxiate. Big cleave pressure coming in from Zeepai. Touch of death from Blizzo. Ratify needs to keep himself alive. All he has is the powered barrier. Archangel's about to come up. Fists of Fury stun, and this is just looking horrible for Ascendant. Ratify barely going to be able to survive here, but I don't know if he's going to be able to keep himself alive with no mana whatsoever. Penance connects. There's a polymorph over on the Looney. Zeepai uses the AMS. They want to just keep training down Ratify, cleave down everyone. Smoke Bomb gets dropped as well. Blind over on the Looney. Can they take Zeepai down? Zeepai may have overextended. Corpse Shield's going to be used. He's still low. Looney trying to reconnect. Drops the Spirit Link Totem. He realizes Ascendant doesn't have much time left.
Ratify is just squeaking by on absolutely nothing. Zeepai's trying his best. I've had enough of this. Just go down, Ratify. What is going on? Looney's pushing on top of him now for some spam purges. He's got the Earthen Shield Totem. Will Ratify fall? He should ultimately go down. He's just doing whatever he can to cling on to life. And 1% line of sight's the Gargoyle, but his Death Coil will ultimately seal the deal. Ratify just showing he wanted.
And you can see there's a full asphyxiate onto Ratify. You can see both melees are connected onto Morrow, and you can see Looney, of course, always gonna have this very safe positioning behind that pillar. And yes, we are gonna draw Mickey the Mouse.
Thank you for completing the Mickey the Mouse.
You were thinking about it for sure. So we can see it right here. What's going to be happening here is they're going to just get this ice block here from Morrow, but the main objective here is that they get Morrow low, and that's going to make Ratify's life a lot more difficult. And actually, he had a really nice temporal shield before that setup, but in general, throughout the game, this is what you want to be doing. You want to asphyxiate into that incapacitate. If you are the Windwalker DK, go on the Mage, use every interrupt you have on the Mage, trade your cooldowns effectively, and then you get to this part in the game where Ratify has no more mana to work with. And at this point, if the Mage still has ice blocks, obviously it's much better to just focus all your attention onto Ratify, who is squeaking by for a couple of more seconds before that Gargoyle and Zeepai finally manage to take him down. And this is all because of how long they've been able to stall the game. We're at 12% dampening. You can see here, Zeepai has been forced to use all of his defensives. So Ascendant did put up a good fight here, where they managed to force pretty much everything that XRB had to offer. But it's a little bit too little, too late. Ratify, of course, going to be caught up in the stun, have no HP and no mana to work with. And at this point, you have just ran out of time. As the RMP, you need to find a kill before you get to this situation here. And you do that by just, when you force certain cooldowns, you need to make a clean setup where your goal is to end the game on somebody. And they just couldn't find that opening really due to the defensive plays from XRB. However, on a larger map, or on a different map at least,
it's too difficult to overcome, and Looney is playing Relentless, so he's just going to be... I would love to just see them kill Looney in the opener. Just blind him out of bear form, switch to him. I think he would just disappear.
I think it's much easier said than done when you have Blizzo and Warlock peeling for you on Affliction, Warlock, and an Arms Warrior, but maybe you could get it done if it is an exceptionally clean setup. Acro just barely catching Looney there into a sap. That would have been a disaster for XRB. Mark for death, kidney shot over on the Loonies. It looks like Blizzo is the target of choice. He trinket gates immediately good positioning there for him. Ratify getting spam feared up as well by Walrus. Now Walrus caught into the sheep. I do like what you're saying. I do think they should make those swaps on the Looney, sort of keep XRB guessing.
Yeah, and they just got Blizzo's trinkets. They could maybe polymorph him on that. Ratify is just chasing Looney around right now and really forcing him just to move in the open. If they can get Looney in the open, there's the blind. And they got him out of bear form, but they're going to go for the kill on Blizzo. 5 seconds before his trinket, 2 seconds before his trinket, and completely annihilate him. Seconds away from being able to get out of that crowd control, and they're able to just immediately punish that relentless decision by Looney in this game.
That's why I love Ascendant playing the Dark Archangel.
Yet XRB to the moon has the advantage of the map. Are we going to a game 5, or is it all ending here?
We'll definitely find out shortly, but I do agree. I think Ascendant, they need to target down Looney. They need 2 good swaps. Looney's not going to die through AMZ. Zeepai always going to have that available for him. They need to force that, and once they force that, that's when they need to make sure that they have cooldowns to take a Looney down.
All right, Acro sneaking across the map as a rogue should. Blizzo might find him. He's not going to be able to get a sap against an Unholy Death Knight. I would imagine that Looney has combat unless he makes a bit of an error, but he does have Earthshot on himself. They're going to go for a kidney shot and a polymorph, so they're not going to go for the all-in strategy. It's likely they want to target Zeepai. Zeepai was already very far away, so I don't know if they're going to have enough damage to force too much here. Maybe they do. They do get the Icebound Fortitude and the Anti-Magic Shield. It's a fair trade for Acro's cooldowns, however, and now Zeepai is just going to be going straight for Ratify, and then immediately not going for Ratify. So XRB to the moon, definitely focusing on defense again this game.
Yep, they just want to slow down Morrow, not let him build up that damage, not let him cast out Blizzard and Frostbolt, just force him to spam out Polymorphs and force Ratify to spam heal him so they can start slowly working through that blue bar. Temporal Shield is going to be used by Morrow. He should be able to get the shot as he gets lower and lower, and actually the Ice Block was forced out, so that was nicely done by XRB, keeping the pressure up even though the Temporal Shield was up, and it's definitely a small victory for them.
Yeah, Acro's still trying to just annoy Looney, and Blizzo is pulled back to support Looney and just attack Acro. If Acro overextends, he could stun lock him. Maybe try and get a cooldown on his own. Morrow getting gripped on the grip. Morrow still down at half. This is the Touch of Death leg sweep. And it seems like Ratify is going to gladly trade Pain Suppression to reduce all the damage from it, but even still with it, not trying to top him off as an Ebon Bolt attempt, getting Mind frozen. Looney caught into a stun. Morrow trying to move across for a polymorph, but not able to really get into position for it. They drop the Smoke Bomb. Not the best, maybe. It's enough. Looney's not actually going into it. He's keeping Earthshield on himself. Maybe he expected to swap back to himself, but now Zeepai is going to have to use Anti-Magic Shield, which is still a fair trade for the Smoke Bomb.
Yeah, and a little bit of damage over on the Blizzo as well, coming in from Morrow. There's a stun on the Ratify. He trinkets out into a Fist of Fury stun. It looks like XRB wants to get aggressive over onto him. Gets interrupted on Penance, but now he can spam out the Shadow Man's top himself off quite easily. You can see Acro still putting the pressure over onto Looney. Kidney shot onto him. Zeepai getting low though. There's the polymorph onto Looney. Zeepai needs to be able to keep himself alive. Frozen Orb is committed. Ratify looking for the fear. There's the blind onto Looney. The only follow-up I believe they have is the fear. Zeepai uses the AMZ, the corpse shield, to keep himself alive. Looney also has a Spirit Link totem available. The CC chain is finally going to end. Ascendance has been popped as Zeepai should be able to survive, but that is a big victory there. They got the AMZ just slowly working through those cooldowns.
I would love to see how many Death Strikes Zeepai has casted in a game. He uses all of his runic power on only Death Strike, which heals him, but doesn't do a lot of damage, and that's why Morrow is sitting so high on health. The XRB the Moon are just playing this composition as defensively as you can, even into the smallest micromanagement. Ratify getting interrupted, but doesn't look like they have anything else. I really like the Death Grip stun swaps to Ratify, though. It puts him incredibly far behind. He has to spend a lot of mana to recover from it, and they get guaranteed uptime because he's not a mage. He can just blink away after the stun, so I definitely think the swaps to Ratify are going to be key to victory. We see Acro setting up a stun. Morrow looking for a polymorph. They get rid of the grounding totem. They sneak in the polymorph. They drop the Frozen Orb, but Blizzo peels him away with a double leg sweep. Ratify's trying to move in to get something going for his team out of that, but they walk into a triple Fist of Fury. That's an ice block. That's an evasion as both members of Ascendant dip dangerously low.
Yeah, that was a very nice setup there by XRB. Blizzo and Zeepai setting that up beautifully. Morrow still low. Ratify having to play catch up at this point in the game. Gets the penance off. Acro getting rotted down. Zeepai and Blizzo looking to get aggressive. Morrow trying to get out the polymorphs to peel up this team just a little bit. Incapacitate over on Ratify. He actually premonitions it, but Morrow getting bursted down. Temporal Shield is going to proc to keep him alive, but Ratify has run out of healing. Shadowman spam coming in. Do they have any more interrupts for Ratify? Morrow still just getting trained down by Blizzo and Zeepai. Kidney shot over on the Looney. Can Morrow get the follow-up CC they need to take Zeepai down? No, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to, and this is what is so difficult for the RMP. Eventually, can't get those CCs on the Looney. and you were just falling so far behind on mana and damage.
It's exactly the same situation that we saw in Dalaran Sewer. Zibai and Lunia basically reset their defensives. Radopai has no mana and no defensive cooldown. So at this point, XRB to the moon should be able to easily walk away with this match. I'd love to see Zibai spend his runic power now onto death coils instead of the death strikes, because there's really no danger of him dying with how many defensive cooldowns are available. And if we look at Radopai's mana bar, it doesn't even exist. We see a stun. Radopai trinkets out. What's he going to do with that? Not very much. Zibai uses his defensives a bit prematurely to break out and get aggressive with the paralysis now onto Radopai. They need to race against the clock. Can they kill him before the temporal shield goes off? Radopai buys a second with the powered shield. Now it's going to go off. Touch of Karma was forced from Blizzo. Now they're in a bit of an awkward situation. That was their aggressive push to get a kill. They used Icebound and Karma to do it, and they didn't get it. So Ascendant have one more miracle opportunity to get a kill, but outside of that, it's looking grim.
Yeah, Radopai, no mana. Kidney shot over on the Looney. They're looking to take down Blizzo, who has no touch of Karma. There's the full Ring of Frost. Can they find the damage? Blizzo ports away. The Orc Relentless going to pay off, and ultimately he's going to be able to keep himself alive. Now a little swap over onto Zibai, but that is really not going to do too much. Earthshield now committed over onto Blizzo as they're looking to close out this game. Icy Veins almost available for Morrow. Can they hold on just a little bit longer? Paint Suppression might buy them enough time, but that's a full Hex secured by Looney. Morrow holding on by a thread, and Rising Sun Kick is enough to take it down. Acro's looking to finish up the game with a kidney shot, or at least tie it up, but that's it. XRB Temple Storm, yeah, sorry, I'm blanking. That's what Temple Storm decided to do. They played the Orc Relentless, makes it very difficult for Akros to get off his stun lock and also put out significant damage.
All right, we're going to wait for the gates to open to see if they're playing Orc or not. Still a little too far away to tell. Acro sneaking across the map. It's unlikely he's able to stab against a Warlock, as the Fell Hunter, the pet of the Warlock, can run in and get combat for the team. Acro still just doing his best to not get pulled out of stealth, and Maro will be doing the same here shortly. Looney has Cenarian Ward on himself, and they are playing Horde, I believe. I almost think Looney should be playing High Mountain to get the extra damage reduction if he's worried about swaps to himself, but I believe that he's playing Tauren, so he's not going to have that. The kidney shot Looney, but he saw it coming, I guess, 1 second beforehand and got into bear form right before it and denied that. Warlock's able to support with a lockout on the Ring of Frost. They go for the blind. Looney's trying to be greedy. And with Blizzo gating across the map, I think that he can afford to be. Blizzo is going to disarm Acro as soon as he tried to pre-evasion it, but he didn't manage to get it. That was a nice read there by Acro, but Blizzo got it regardless.
Yeah, Blizzo all by himself, though, caught into kidney shot here. Acro's looking to take him down with the smoke bomb. Looney trying to reconnect with the Tranquility. I don't think he actually got locked out there, but a little bit of healing coming in from that Tranquility. Tree Form going to be committed by Looney as well. Blizzo manages to survive by leaping and gating all over the map. Now finally he can connect and put a little bit of damage onto Acros and Radopai. Radopai playing the Dark Archangel once again for that empowered damage. Maro rotting down though. Walrus taking him down, putting out big damage on that Affliction Warlock.
Yeah, Radopai now has to use the Rapture. They still have Dark Archangel. They could make a swap to Looney. As soon as imagine they're waiting for the Tree of Life. Now that the Tree of Life is over, Maro looks like he's moving aggressively towards Looney. Looney's trying to just get away from them, but Acro catches them into the kidney shot. Maro blinks out of line of sight, but not completely, and the Infernal Stun denies the follow-up. Great support from Walrus right there.
Yeah, but Maro might ultimately land the crowd control anyways. Gets the polymorph on to Looney. That was so nicely done. Good teamwork there by Ascendant. Blizzo still in so much trouble. Dab of the Sword going to be forced out, and he actually leapt back to help Looney. So if they can keep up the CC chain, Blizzo has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Just needs to basically tank out all of this damage. Looney has the Iron Bark, but you know how greedy he likes to play it on that Resto Druid, opting not to use it. But that's a kidney shot over on the Looney. Didn't use the Iron Bark, and now Blizzo still rotting down, getting low. He gates away. Looney on top of the gate as well. If he can gate over to Blizzo, it's going to be so good for them. Should be able to top him off, but he got feared away. Acros reconnects, putting out some damage, but finally Looney's there to keep Blizzo alive.
I think that might have been either Life Bloom blooming or Hellstone. I would imagine maybe the Life Bloom blooming there right at the last second, so Blizzo will recover, but it's not looking too good for them overall. Radopai is doing a great job maintaining his mana. I'd almost like to say that he should maybe go for drinks when stressful moments like that are happening, so he can play the late game or the early game and still have options on the table. Blizzo preemptively heroic leaping, but he left Looney behind. Looney got caught in the stun. He got stunned on his trinket. Will he fall? Frenzy regen available. It should recover through the rest of this burst. Barely. He's blinking back behind the pillar. He's going to reconnect with Blizzo. So Blizzo tried to preemptively leap away from the setup, and I like that Ascendant were able to punish with a swap on Looney. Now Looney has no trinket, no bark skin, and guess what's available? Icy Veins. Looney's going to have to be very aware of that, and Blizzo has no die by the sword, so there's 2 kill targets right now for Ascendant. They could kill Blizzo with a blind on Looney, or they could just swap to Looney, crowd control Blizzo, and stop him from peeling. I mean, right now, Ascendant have a huge win condition. They just need to execute it properly.
Yeah, Blizzo needs to be very careful. He's not preemptively doing stuff too often. There's a Stormbolt onto Acro, pummel over onto Ratify. Nice Fear coming in from Blizzo. This is an opportunity for them to start generating some pressure. Maro has the Icy Veins still available, though. Dark Archangel's going to be up in 10 seconds. There's the full blind over on the Looney. Kidney shot on the Blizzo. Frozen Orbs committed as well. Do they have the follow-up CC? Maro goes for the Ring of Frost, lands it. Blizzo's all by himself, trying to kite away on top of the gateway. Gates away, but still left by himself. Looney needs to be able to reconnect and get that Ironbark on him. Displaces good positioning here coming in from XRB. Ironbark gets on the Blizzo, and I think that's going to be enough to keep him alive. Very nicely done to Kitty shot over on the Looney. Blizzo could still be in some trouble, but that healing coming in from the Resto Druid, you know, his artifact as well as that Ironbark is just going to be too massive for Ascendant to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, that was well executed. That was definitely one of the win conditions they had right there. They tried to execute it, but they got stalled out by Blizzo a couple seconds before they could do it. Then Life Bloom was able to explode right as the big damage hit Blizzo, and that's what ultimately saved him. So Blizzo did a great job to just delay that setup and ultimately keep his team alive during that moment where Ascendant almost had a free path to victory. Now that they've stalled it out, Ratify has spent even more mana, and obviously the blue bar below Ratify's health is the win condition for XRB to the moon. If they can run that down to nothing, he can't heal anymore. Looney caught into a Ring of Frost. Blizzo immediately retreating behind the pillar. However, Maro's trying to get back beside him, but Walrus is fearing him away. Blizzo sitting in that defensive stance now. Full Psychic Scream onto Looney. There's the Frozen Orb, but a disarm onto Acro will deny a stun lock. Ratify's trying to add some damage to the fray. That's going to force an Ironbark from Looney. They drop the Smoke Bomb regardless. They're trying to kill him through it, but Die by the Sword should deny the rest of this. Ultimately, though, that's a lot of cooldowns to have to use on one attempt in that Smoke Bomb. Tree of Life, Ironbark, Die by the Sword. All three of those gone for one stun lock. This is going to be dangerous for Blizzo moving forward.
Yeah, but Ratify is almost tapped on mana once again, but we've seen him pull off miracles. There's the full Stormbolt on a Ratify. He trinkets out, doesn't want to fall behind. Very important at this point of the game. He's preemptively using cooldowns to avoid damage rather than try to heal through it, especially while his mana is so low. Ratify looking like he wants to get in a position where he can actually land a Fear over on the Looney. There's the full Kidney shot. Maro looking like he wants to go for the Ring of Frost, but I don't think he's going to get there in time, so Ratify is going to have to go for that Fear. Maro doesn't have the Ring of Frost, I don't believe. Just trying to get some damage over on the Blizzo, but Blizzo doing such a good job once again, kiting. Acro's just, it's so difficult for him to get off the damage he needs while also keeping him locked down with stuns, and that's where the Orc Relentless really pays off.
Yeah, and Blizzo's now just standing on top of Ratify. You can see the blue bar is basically nothing, and this is what XRB to the moon have been working for. Just break up all the setups, avoid damage. Now that Ratify's run out of mana, I think Ascendant may have run out of time. They go for blind. Looney denies the blind attempt by just tricketing out, but he gets caught by a polymorph. Blizzo has no Die by the Sword. It's here or now. Can Ascendant find the kill on Blizzo? There's no stuns. Walrus are peeling them away. Maro is dangerous. He gets locked on a caster. He had to cold snap to block while he was locked out, so that's 2 ice blocks out of the way for free. Ratify has no mana. Everybody on XRB to the moon are at full HP. Ratify's in execute range. He can't get away. All Blizzo has to do is chase him down and finish this. He's right on top of this, and XRB to the moon are looking to close this series out. Vortex pulling Ratify back. Maro trying to buy time with polymorphs. Ratify hanging on, squeaking by. Blizzo charging over. Acro is still low. Blizzo's going to the battle stance. Blizzo's had completely enough of this. Rapture from Ratify. Powered shield. Will this be enough for Ratify to stay alive? Blizzo still has no Die by the Sword. Looney pre-Iron Barks the polymorph incoming. Ratify is still low. This is Icy Veins, but Blizzo leaps away. He's out of line of sight. Acro can't catch up. Looney into the polymorph, so don't trinket. Maybe they stun lock him. They're gonna go for a Psychic Scream. Blizzo still has no Die by the Sword. That might be able to pull off a miracle. They had this game in the bag, but Blizzo could easily fall.
No way! No way!
Right at the last second,
Ratify!
Rain Soul is channeled. Poly spam will deny the kill as Ratify hangs on. Looney can't believe it. He's jumping in with Moonfires, but Looney's ultimately going to surrender. I don't even know if he should have surrendered in this position. I mean, Ratify's got nothing. I don't know. Maybe Walrus. No, that was a rage crit.
Was that a rage crit? I mean, well, look at Walrus right now. Maybe he could have done something here.
I can't believe what we just saw. Ratify just surviving at 21% HP. Blizzo just wants to do everything he
play against Tempo Storm.
That is a disaster for both of those two teams. Both of those teams that need to have a good run in this tournament if they want to be in the top four. So that is a mess for both of these teams, and one of them is ultimately going to get eliminated from that series.
If you are any other team in the EU, you are so stoked right now. That just messes up everything as far as points are concerned. You're definitely very happy to be removing one of those teams from the tournament. So XRB to the moon versus who our top four is going to be. We need to do 2 of these lower bracket matchups to
decide it, and I cannot be more excited. Do not go anywhere. When we return, we are going to find out who is the top 4 going to be in the EU in the second cup of the season.